What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. This is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Episode 20, Emancipation. Holy crap. What a week for Marvel. So, this is kind of tying in. Obviously, Civil War released last Friday. If you didn't know that, you're living under a rock. But anyway, went and saw it. It does tie into the beginning of this episode. If you want my opinion of Civil War, just a short opinion, I will say it's a great movie, my favorite Marvel movie. But if you want to see maybe a bit more in-depth review, I'm actually doing a video in a couple weeks. I started doing these Brock Talk shows type thing, and I'm going to do a list, putting the Marvel movies in order of my favorites, and do kind of a little mini review for each of them. So if you want a little bit deeper thoughts on Civil War, I will be giving that in that video. So stay tuned for that. Go ahead and click that subscribe button so you don't forget. Just if you want to know my opinions on it, I will say it is a great movie. However, the tie-in at the beginning, I kind of figured they were going to do it like this, because this is kind of what they did for Age of Ultron as well. Although at the same time it's actually tying in a bit more than Ultron does. But anyway, they do have video on the TV. Coulson's sitting at this bar saying, Captain America, Steve Rogers, has gone missing. Nobody knows where he is after his fight with Tony Stark, Iron Man. But what I like is that the Sokovia Accords that were mentioned in the movie are a really big deal in this episode. Like, they are actually kind of more center stage than I thought they were going to be. And it kind of sets up why Glenn Talbot is visiting S.H.I.E.L.D. He believes these Sokovia Accords are right, obviously. Coulson, of course, disagrees because he is still old S.H.I.E.L.D., which is we need to operate outside of the government type thing. But yeah, it's a very good setup, and it does set up well for this episode. When you look at all the different variables going on, it's good. So, the very nice thing about this whole episode is just how very well it's set up. I mean, at one point you just kind of feel like everything's falling apart, and then the twist at the end just turns it all around. And what a great twist! I kind of suspected just a little bit, just the tiniest bit, that something was amiss. That Lincoln was just a little too easy to say, yeah, I want to come find you, Daisy. My brain was thinking, okay, yeah, I can understand why he wants to go see her. I mean, it's Daisy. She's amazing and beautiful and portrayed by Chloe Bennett. Anyway, my number one TV crush. So, yeah, I could see why he might want to break out and find her, but at the same time I thought to myself, but he knows that she's being controlled. He's already turned her down one time. Why would he all of a sudden change his mind now? And then he gets up top, and the camera has been just taken off. It wasn't like it was just destroyed on accident or something broke it. No, it was taken off the wall. I thought to myself, okay, something is up, isn't it? Like, this is... And then Max shows up. And at first I was thinking Max in on it, and then they actually fight, and he zaps him. I'm like, okay, maybe not? And I thought to myself, wait, what if Mac knew Daisy was using the cameras, disable that so he could get a jump attack on Lincoln? Maybe? Like, I don't know. My brain wanted to say, Lincoln, you're not... He's a good guy. He's definitely a good guy. He would not actually leave. But then the other part of my brain was thinking, but I said the same thing about Daisy, and look at where she is now. Like, it was so back and forth inside my mind. One part of me wanted to believe that Lincoln was better than this. The other part wanted to think there's an explanation for it all. That this is actually happening. Things are only going to get worse before they get better. However, it's a brilliant plan. You've got it all set up. Lincoln looks like he's about to escape. They send Lash instead, which whenever Lincoln shows up, I'm thinking, what, did they just send a bomb? That's not gonna work. Like, how is it? And then the door opens and it's Lash. I'm like, okay, they sent an effective bomb. There we go. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant to see them utilize Lash in this way. And it was more effective than I was like, what if, though, Hive was able to control Lash? And so he shoots out like his parasite sand looking stuff, and Lash just like blasts it, and it's like, nope, stop right there. Blasts him once in the chest, and it's not like reforming, it's just actually a hole. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is working. The Inhumans that Hive has created come out to attack Lash. He's like taking them down, snaps one's neck. And then Daisy sees all of this, and then in her Hive-controlled mind thinks, I need to save Hive, goes out, forces Lash. I'm like, oh no. Like, what if Lash kills her? And then she passes out from using her powers. Lash goes up to her and just like does his little blue whatever it is into her chest. I'm like, no! Wait, he's not killing her. And all of a sudden it hit me. Like, you could kind of see stuff coming out of her body. I'm like, he's removing the Hive parasites from her mind. That is genius! Genius! Some people might say, oh, that's coincidental that this, this whatever it is, this Lash, is so destined, so driven to kill Inhumans. And yet for some reason Daisy, oh, I'm not going to kill her. They do a very good job of explaining this as well. they After they make it back, and Lash has already been killed. I'll talk about that in a second. They're talking about how Lash saved her life, saved Daisy's life, and Gemma makes the remark that wasn't Lash, because there is still that part of Andrew Garner inside of Lash, I think, and that is what decided, I'm not going to kill Daisy. I'm going to save her. I think when you really think about Lash's motivations, I think he sees Hive as more of a threat than Daisy. He sees the Hive as truly an abomination. Like, you think about the Kree. The Kree saw all the Inhumans as an abomination. Hive was the very first one that they actually created. So, they would see him as the ultimate abomination. If Lash's mindset was the same way, he would see Hive as the ultimate abomination, which means if Daisy has Hive inside of her, I could understand that Lash would be like, let's get this out of you, because this isn't what you want. This isn't, not what you want, but this isn't good for you. Hive is the one that needs to be destroyed. So, I like the fact that it does leave it up to a bit of interpretation, whether you want to think it's Andrew Garner, whether you want to think it's Lash trying to destroy Hive permanently, or whether you want to just say, oh, it's just Marvel doing their coincidental thing. It's up to you, really, what you want to think about it. And even, Gemma doesn't even say it was Andrew. She just said that wasn't Lash. I like that. They do a very good job of that. Onto Lash's death. It was kind of obvious the way they were doing the scene, I guess. He saves Daisy, gets the Hive parasites out of her, carrying her body back to the Quinjet, lays her inside, says something, I think he says, you're free, or he said that before. Either way, the way they were shooting the camera angle, I'm thinking, okay, he's about to get stabbed or something. Like, something's about to come through his chest. Sure enough, James, the prick. God. My question is, since they don't have the rights to Ghost Rider, now, some people may be like, oh, what are you saying? But, if you really think about it, he makes a comment about hell in this one. He now has a chain that he can turn on fire. Not quite Ghost Rider, but the closest we're probably going to get, because I don't know if they have the rights. I think Fox still has the rights. Anyway, it's just something I noticed. Like, he says something when he's talking to now, Watch Dogs? Was it Watch Dogs? I can't remember what they're called now. But the guys that hate Inhumans, they track him down, chase him into an alley. He says something about, let me show you hell, or something like that, and then grabs the chain, puts it on fire. And that's when the Ghost Rider concept kind of came into my mind. I'm like, close enough. Um, no, I'm just kidding. Not close enough. A lot of people are going to be upset if that's the closest we get to Ghost Rider from Marvel. But anyway, so yeah, he ends up killing Lash, which I kind of understand from a writer's point of view. You know, if you have this being that is powerful enough to kill the main villain, the only one right now powerful enough to kill the main villain, and there's still a finale left, and if he just goes over there and kills him right now, yeah, that would be a little bit easy. You know, it does kind of, it's kind of like if you've got a gun pointed at the main bad guy, and all you did was just pull a trigger, and they're dead. That was it. That's all it took. Yeah, that would be very easy. You know, I actually made a reference to this in last night's episode of Gotham. Anyway, there's an Elementary recently. There was a villain that they introduced that seemed like he was going to be this epic villain. There was going to be a showdown between him and Sherlock Holmes, and battle of wits. And then he ends up dying off screen. Like they kill him off screen. And it would be the same thing if this happened to Hive. If it was just that easy to where Lash just shows up, oh, what's up? You're dead. That would be way too easy, especially how much they built up this Inhuman. It would be way, way, way too easy if Flash just went over there and killed him. No, it's got to be the team that does it. They've got to actually be able to do it more personally. I want to see that, to be honest. So, from a writer's point of view and from a storyline point of view, it makes sense to have Lash die. Just so now it's like, how are we going to stop Hive? We've lost our one chance to kill him. How are we going to do it now? It's a good setup, I think. Anything else before I talk about the end? The Inhumans that the Doctor created, they are very primal. They talk about this, how they're very primitive. They've been, look like they've been burned completely, charred almost. You gotta wonder, is that gonna, like, why does Hive see those as better than if they look normal? I don't know. It's just something to think about. Not really a big, huge talking point, but something to think about going forward. Like, what is Hive's plan with these guys? What are their powers? They obviously they've gotten stronger, but what are their actual powers? Because most Inhumans, Daisy has her quake abilities. Lincoln has lightning. Joey is able to melt metal. Yo-Yo goes back and she can travel to one spot and instantly snaps back. They just seem like they're super strong. Like, is that all they're gonna get? Is there actual differing powers between them? I don't know if that will be addressed, or if that's just, we're just going to say they have super strength and stuff like that and just leave it at that. We'll see going forward, but it's just something to think about. And I think that's about it from the main part of the episode. Just overall, really enjoyed it. A lot of fun. Kind of interesting to see General Talbot in the base, and I love the plan that they had set in place to send Lash to get Hive. Then the end happened. I knew they were going to do this, because it would have been too easy if it was Elena that went up Yo-Yo. It would have been way too easy if Yo-Yo went up in the rocket and she's the one that ends up in space. Because we saw her little crucifix necklace floating in a spaceship that blows up. We saw that. At the end of this episode, she gives it to Mac. Now, this does not mean that Mac is the one going up in the rocket. What it does mean is that next week we're going to get a musical chairs version of Who's Gonna Die. And it's not gonna be good for my heart. I mean, even the reason I know this is because of the previews. I'll talk about that in a second, but at the end of this episode, whenever she gives it to Mac, she goes to see him, I'm like, oh yeah, go Mac, yeah, Lena and Mac, that's gonna be awesome, they're great together. And then she's like, close your eyes, don't open them till I leave. And then puts something in his hands, and I'm like, oh no. No, she's not giving him the necklace. And then he opens it up, and it is like, no, not back. Please. Yeah. I mean, that doesn't even necessarily mean it's going to be him and the rocket, but just the thought of, Mac now has the necklace made my heart kind of stop working for a second. I'm like, ugh, no, stop. And it's gonna be crazy next week. And from the previews, you can just first of all 2 hour finale just like last season, brilliant. Thank you so much, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, for knowing what to do. 2 hour finales should always be a thing. We should always get more than normal. Why don't more shows do this? Anyway, so 2 hour finale next week. Actually, technically, it's 2 episodes. But from the previews, they showed Fitz holding the necklace at one point too, which means, like I said, it's gonna be musical chairs. I don't know why Mac would give away the necklace, or maybe he'll drop it or something. But I feel like it's gonna pass through everybody's hands until the very last moment when somebody's about to get, they're trying to decide who's gonna get on the rocket, and they're the ones that are gonna get the necklace, and it's just gonna be whoever it is. It's gonna be sad. I don't know who it is, but at this point, it doesn't feel like it's going to be Elena. I was really worried that they were just going to kill her off. And while, yeah, that would be that'd be great from my point of view, because I don't want any of these main characters to die. From a show, like a TV show point of view, it would be kind of a cop out. It would be easy to say, oh, let's see, we can kill this unimportant character. Or we could kill one of these main characters. Let's just kill the unimportant character. It would still be sad because of the friendship and the kind of romance that she and Mac have been building. But to actually kill off possibly even one of the original 6. Obviously Ward is dead at this point, but like to kill off Fitz or Simmons, or to kill off May or Daisy or Phil, any of those 5 would be really, really, really gut wrenching. To kill off Mac or Lincoln would be hard to watch. Those are pretty much. I mean, those are the 7 to choose from right now. I can't really think of any others that are kind of main characters right now. I don't know. Either way, next week's going to be crazy. It's going to be filled with emotion. It's going to be very, very sad. I'm hoping, based on what we know of the plot by Hive, we know that he's got a warhead now. We saw the warhead whenever that one guy, Agent Blake, he's the one that gave him the warhead. We know that he is sending warhead up to explode and release this whatever it is, and infect a bunch of people, turn them in humans. So I feel like the spaceship is going, or they may even be inside of the warhead. Maybe, I don't know. Either way, now that we know what the plan by Hive is, it feels like we know what's going to happen with the spaceship now. We know why they're going up in space. We've got to stop it before it happens, that type of thing. Yeah, so it just feels like they've got a perfect setup. Hopefully that happens at the end of the first episode of next week. Between the two, I would love for the first episode to end with whoever's going to die inside the spaceship. Let's end the first episode with that, so we can have the entire second episode dedicated to stopping Hive, to killing Hive. That would be the best setup for me. That would be the best way to handle this. So hopefully that's how they do it. I don't know if they're going to do it that way. I have faith in them that whatever they do, it's going to be awesome, because this season so far has been really awesome. They've only had, I would say, 1 or 2 episodes that have maybe not been up to my high expectations. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Really, really scared at the same time. But yeah, they've got a great setup and great story, great characters, great villains. It's all great. Of course, I could just be talking with a bit of Marvel blindsidedness stuff, things. Yeah. So, anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know if you disagree or agree down below. If there's anything I missed that you want to talk about, let me know. And leave a like and subscribe for more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And also, if you want to see my future thoughts on Marvel and their movies, my ratings / type reviews, just subscribe and keep an eye out for that. It should be on May 27th whenever I upload it. So, like, subscribe, all that. Yeah. Nothing else to say. See you at the next review. Peace out.